Morning students, today we are going to see the next topic, that is a closer look to Akbar's policy. We have seen different things, Akbarnama, the book, and what all details we have seen, and now we are moving to the Akbar's policy, that how what all policies he taken, maybe for administration, for military, for collection of revenue, all these things what we have discussed all in the lesson, and how he Akbar, the Emperor Akbar, or the great king Akbar, how he practiced that one in his area or in his time. We are going to see the broad feature of administration were laid down by Akbar and were elaborately discussed in Abdul Faisal in his book, that is Akbarnama, in particular in the East, in its last volume of Ain al-Akbari. We already discussed that part. The third volume of the book, it is known as the Ain al-Akbari. In that said the administration of King Akbar. And Abdul Faisal explained the emperor was divided into provinces. First it is divided into provinces. That name Subas, the province name we are calling state, like that country divided into different provinces, and each province, that division of the province, it was calling in Urdu name, that was Subas, and governed by the Subadar. Subadar was ruling, means the if you are making the state and CM like that, we can see the state is known as Subas and the CM is known as Subadar. Then who carried out both political and military functions. Subadar want to conduct both functions. One is political function, means administration of the province, as Subas, as well as the military function also they want to conduct. Then next one, each province also had a finance officer or divan. Each province have a finance officer who is collecting the revenue, and that person is known as divan. Or if you are making our state, and there is a revenue minister, and the revenue minister is collecting the revenue, like that, and then the person is known as divan. The person who is doing the financial matters of the state is known as divan. All these things may ask us one word question: who is Subas, or who is a Subadar, and who is a divan, like that questions may ask us a one mark question also. For the maintenance of peace and order in his province, Subadar was supported by other officers such as military paymaster and minister in charge of religious and charitable patronage, and military commanders, and the town police commander. Means the Subadar is the his duty, it is the maintenance of peace and order, administration or political administration of the state province, and he want to conduct the maintenance of the peace and order. For that he is getting the support of all the officers under him. Other officers like military paymaster, means what we are they call Bakshi. Then the minister in charge of religious and charitable patronage, that is Sar. Then the military commander, that Fojodar, and the town police, the Kotwal. All these four officers and their other members of that office, they was helping the Subadar to maintain the peace and order. So we can see the division, and those who are responsible to that. If you are thinking like that, in each and every state, here if we are thinking about Tamil Nadu state, each and every state again divided into districts. Each and every districts we can see, and district, it is the in charge, who is the keeping the peace and order, everything, that is the duty of a collector. And who all are collecting helping the collector, we can see the elected members are the representatives, are the Jilla Parishad is there, as the same time the MPs and MLAs of that area is there. All these persons, they are helping. As the same time we can see police, they are helping, and the not military, the other officers, means the court, the district court as well as taluk courts it is helping. Then to collect the revenue for that purpose, taluk finance officers are there, district finance officers are there. All of them are helping the collector to maintain the peace and order. Like that we can see in the time of Akbar also, each and every province it was known as subas, and the person who is controlling that governed by subadar, and the duty of the subadar, one of the duty that is maintain the peace and order in the province, and the four group of people officers they are helping him. And Akbar's nobles command large armies had access to amount of revenue. The Akbar's nobles, what they are doing, they are having the large armies, and they are having the large amount of revenue also. In both way, they are having the number of many number of armies as well as they are having the revenue also. Why? While they are loyal to empire functioned efficiently, but by the end of the 17th century, many nobles had built independent network of their own. In the starting time or in Akbar's time, we can see they are having the very good setup, very good functioning, and it was very efficient functioning on the starting time or up to the end, means ending time up to that time. But ending time in the 17th century, we can see the nobles or subadar or the divan, they started to make their own independent network, and their loyalty to the empire was weakened by their own self-interest, because they are making their own independent network. They are thinking like that it is my own area, like that. So slowly they are becoming selfish or self-interested, so their loyalty it is decreasing. If you are thinking like that, nowadays we are attending online classes, and if your parents are giving their mobiles to you people for attending the classes, and they are thinking like that you are loyal to your parents, very faithful to your parents, and sometimes we are getting the temptation in between listening the video of the class, in between we will visit some cartoon or something else because it is net is on, and parents can't say like that we won't give like that. They may download and give, then also we can't understand, so we want to search further something like that we will say, and sometimes we may misuse. So what we are happening, we loosening or weakening our loyalty to our parents or to our studies. So what will happen? The efficiency it will lose. Then while Akbar was at Fatehpur Sikri during 1570s, he started discussions on religious with ulama and Brahmins and Jesuit priests who were Roman Catholic and Zoroastrians, and the Akbar he started to speak to other religious people when he was in Fatehpur Sikri. And we can see ulama, that is the priest, I means we can say like that Muslim priest, Brahmins the Hindu priest, and Jesuit priest of Roman Catholics or Catholics, and Zoroastrians, that is the Chinese religion came here. That time it was there in India, and all these people they are speaking to Akbar started to speak to them, and these discussions took place in the Ibadat Khana, and he was interested in the religion and social custom of different people. Means what shows it means Akbar's interest to other religion, or to understand other religion as well as the custom and tradition of each and every religion, even each and every people. Because in India when Akbar was ruling, or before that Mughal emperors itself, we can see different religions are there. Christians are there, Muslims are there, Hindus are there, Jains, Buddhists, all peoples are there here in India when the Mughal came here that time itself. So Akbar want to understand everybody's details. For that purpose he is making the discussions with other religious people also. Then Akbar's interaction with people of different faith made him realize that religious scholars who emphasized rituals and dogma were often bigots. Means the people those who are emphasizing rituals, some are saying like that rituals are more important, some are saying faith is more important. Like that two groups we can see in each and every religion. If it is Muslim or Hindu, like that some are thinking like that everyday rituals or each and every minute's rituals are most important thing. Other group of people saying like that the faith or the spirituality is most important. And what word meaning it is given like that, an individual who is intolerant of another person's religious belief or culture. The people those means the bigoted means they are having they are getting angry to other people when they are even in the same religion itself. We can see those who are saying about rituals only, those who are saying about dogmas or faith, they are having the rivalry between, because they are saying faith, that is the important. If the dogma people, they are saying the faith or spirituality is the important thing, so the other people, they are feeling like that the rituals are not at all important. So what we can do, they are saying like that they are not giving importance, that's why like that they are having the intolerance, or they are starting to fight each other. And the teachings created divisions and disharmony amongst his subjects. He understood, because of this ritual people and dogma people, the division or disharmony came to the society. If there is divisions, there is divisions in the classroom or in one area or in one community, then we won't get the real peace in mind, because there will be some conflicts and clashes in between. So it is making like that we can say disharmony. There is no harmonious way, there is no peaceful way. So what he understood, because he started to speak to different religious people, that's why he understood all these things. Then this eventually led Akbar in the idea of Sulh-i-Kur, or universal peace. The idea what he promoted or he taken to keep the harmony in the society, that is the universal peace. This idea of tolerance did not discriminate between people of different religion in his realm. He never allowed the people to discriminate Hindu or Muslim or other religion like that. He never allowed the people to discriminate each other. Instead, it focused on the system of ethics, in that honesty, justice, peace. These three things he given the maximum importance. Who? King Akbar or Emperor Akbar. And he is never thought about making the discrimination among people. Instead of that, he started to think honest, justice and peace. It was universally applicable. If it is in the to a small kid or a senior citizen, for everyone or any area, it may be coastal area or in hilly area, anywhere and everywhere it was applicable. Then Abdul Faisal helped Akbar in framing a vision of governance around this idea of Sulh-i-Kul or the universal peace. Who helped the Akbar to frame the governance? Abdul Faisal, who wrote Akbarnama. And this principle of governance was followed by Jahangir and Shah Jahan as well. What Akbar made, that same policy followed by Jahangir, the son of Akbar, and grandson of Akbar, that is Shah Jahan. Both of them followed the same policy. So what we was discussing, the policy of Akbar, in that we can see first one, how he made the country different division for easy administration. We can see that it was, we are called in the time of British time provinces, or nowadays we are calling it state, and in Akbar's time it was known as subas. And the governor of the person is controlling that area, that Subadar, or nowadays we can see governor or the CM of state, as well as in the we can see collector in the district, like that different people. And who is carrying, and the Subadar, he want to do the activity of political as well as military function, means he want to keep the people, the well-being of the people, that is the ultimate duty of the Subadar. And he want to keep the peace and order in the province, and he is getting the help of other officers like military, then religious and charitable department, then military commanders, then the town police and all the people, they are helping the Subadar to keep the peace and order in the society. And at the same time, under the Subadar, we can see a finance officer, that is known as Diwan, finance officer or Diwan. This you want to keep in mind Diwan name, because British people, they are becoming Diwan under Mughal emperor when they came here for trade purpose. Like that, slowly they become the rulers of India. So that you will study in 8th standard. So the finance officer or Diwan, why the British people become the rulers here? Because they got the financial duty of the province, that is the Calcutta province or Bengal province. It got given to that also in of only 3 villages given to British people. From that they developed their colony or rule all over India, that you will study in 8th standard. So what we studied, and see that one, the administrative division of Akbar. And the nobles, how they were, they was very loyal and very efficient in starting time. Then slowly they become a little bit disloyal. Or why? Because they started their own independent network. Then Akbar started to speak to different religious people when he was there in Fatehpur Sikri, and he understood like that there was a rivalry or intolerance between the people, those who are giving emphasis on rituals as well as beliefs. Dogma means beliefs. That's why they are fighting each other, and that is making the divisions in the society as well as disharmony in the society. That's why he want to overcome that one. For purpose he made Sul-i-Kul or universal peace, and in that he is thinking like that, the giving maximum importance to ethics. In that honesty, justice and peace was the which is universally applicable things only he taken. And according to that, Abdul and Akbar, both of them made a vision of governance which related to Sul-i-Kul or universal peace. And his son and grandson, they also followed the same thing. We'll continue in next video.